Some people call it luck, others, coincidence. A strange moment when two strangers meet at a train station, or a friend introduces you to someone who will change your life forever. It feels random, accidental. But what if it's not? According to the teachings of Dolores canon, the idea that things just happen is an illusion crafted by the conscious mind, the part of us that forgets what the soul already knows. Long before we are born, she explains, our souls sit with guides, masters, and loved ones to design the key moments of our life. These aren't scripted down to every breath, but they are sketched with meaning, intention, and purpose. You see, when your soul agrees to a life on earth, it also agrees to lessons. And those lessons often come through people. Some who will challenge you, some who will heal you, and others who will awaken something ancient inside you. The so-called accidents are, in truth, sacred appointments, meetings that may look spontaneous, but are really echoes of an agreement made in spirit. Think back to someone who completely shifted your path. Maybe it was a lover, a teacher, or even a stranger who said just the right words, at the right time. Did it feel like more than chance? Did it shake something loose in your heart, or light up a memory you couldn't explain? That's often how the soul recognizes what the mind tries to rationalize. In Dolores Cannon's regression sessions, countless people recalled these pre-birth planning moments. They described sitting at a round table, seeing key souls volunteer for specific roles, even the painful ones. "I will hurt you," one soul might say, "so you can learn to forgive." "I will leave you," another might promise, "so you can remember your own strength." In these realms, there's no blame, only purpose. This is where our view of accidents begins to shift. That car that broke down and made you miss a flight? Maybe it wasn't bad luck. Maybe it saved you. That delay that caused you to walk into a room at a different time? Maybe it aligned you with someone you were always meant to meet. It doesn't mean we don't have free will. We do. But within the framework of our soul's design, we navigate a tapestry that's both mysterious and intelligent. The illusion of randomness is simply the mind forgetting the contract. So the next time life takes a sudden turn or someone enters your life out of nowhere, pause before calling it coincidence. There may be a deeper truth unfolding, a moment designed not by accident, but by love, by a soul that remembered you, even when your mind did not. Because in the realm of spirit, nothing is wasted, and nothing is truly random. We often think that if love doesn't happen according to our expectations or schedules, then something has gone wrong. We wonder why someone didn't come sooner, or why a powerful connection arrived at the most inconvenient time. But what if it wasn't late or early, but perfectly on time? According to the spiritual insights of Dolores Cannon, nothing significant in your life happens by accident, especially the relationships that awaken your soul. In her past life regression sessions, many people uncovered that certain souls had been waiting in line for the exact moment when the conditions were right for reunion. And these reunions were not about convenience, but about timing in alignment with soul growth. Divine timing is the soul's clock, not the mind's. While the ego desires control and predictability, the soul understands that growth unfolds through rhythm, not rush. Sometimes we need to experience heartbreak, failure, or solitude before we're truly ready to recognize the love we were meant to meet. Sometimes we need to lose ourselves before we can meet another without losing our center. You met that person when you did, because something in you was finally prepared to receive what they came to reflect. They arrived when your vibration had shifted, when your perspective had softened, or when your soul had reached a crossroad that required deeper truth. Divine timing is not just about them showing up. It's about who you are when they do. Dolores Cannon's work often revealed that even the most painful relationships had a divine order. Souls choose to meet in the middle of the movie, so to speak, not always at the beginning, and rarely at the end. They enter your story at the moment when their presence serves your unfolding. Whether they stay or leave, they come bearing a gift your soul requested long ago. And here's what's most humbling. Sometimes we meet the right person at the wrong time, not because the timing is wrong, but because one or both souls still have work to do. The universe doesn't rush our readiness. It waits patiently until your inner landscape is fertile enough for something real to grow. Have you ever looked back and realized that, had you met someone even a few months earlier, you wouldn't have been ready for them? Or that the version of you they met was precisely the version that needed to be seen, challenged, or loved in a very specific way? That's divine timing. It's not a calendar. It's a convergence of soul paths. This is not about passivity, though. Divine timing also works with your choices. Each decision you make either aligns you closer to your soul's path or delays it. But delays are not denials. They're simply grace in disguise, offering more time for inner alignment. So when you wonder why it took so long, or why they came just as everything else was falling apart, remember, the soul doesn't work in straight lines. It works in spirals, and each spiral leads you closer to the exact moment when your heart and destiny intersect. You met them when you were supposed to, not a moment too late, not a breath too soon, because love, real love, arrives on time, every time. We often call them coincidences, the unexpected encounters, the serendipitous moments, the people who appear in our lives as if by magic. But according to the teachings of Dolores Cannon, these seemingly random meetings are anything but random. They are echoes of promises made long before birth, soul agreements woven into the fabric of our earthly journey. In her regression sessions, Cannon's clients frequently described encounters that were predestined, arranged on a soul level with precise intention. Whether the meeting lasted 5 minutes or 50 years, the energy exchanged in that moment was part of a much larger design. The soul doesn't forget what the mind cannot recall. Agreements are honored, even if we don't consciously remember making them. A soul agreement is a spiritual contract between two beings. Before incarnating, souls gather, often in a kind of council, to decide how they will help each other grow in their next life. These agreements might include acts of love, healing, challenge, or even pain. They are not always pleasant, but they are always purposeful. Sometimes the purpose is obvious. You meet someone who changes the course of your life, who wakes you up, breaks your routine, opens your heart. Other times, it's more subtle. A short conversation, a glance, a stranger's kind word in a dark moment, and something inside you shifts. These are the moments when the soul whispers, "You're not alone, you're still on track." Soul agreements behind chance meetings often serve as triggers, not just emotional ones, but spiritual. They activate memories, healing, lessons. You may feel instantly drawn to someone or suddenly uncomfortable around them without knowing why. It's the agreement coming alive. It's the soul remembering. What's profound is that these meetings are not always about long-term relationships. Not every soul you meet was meant to stay. Some came to remind you of your worth, others to reflect your shadow, some to give you one last nudge before you step into a new version of yourself. The meeting is sacred regardless of the outcome. Dolores Cannon reminds us that Earth is a school, and relationships are the greatest teachers. And sometimes, a soul signs up to play a small but vital role in your curriculum. They appear exactly when they're meant to, say or do exactly what your soul needs, and then disappear, not because they were insignificant, but because their part was complete. So the next time you meet someone and feel a strange familiarity or sense that there's more happening than meets the eye, pause. Instead of asking, "What are the odds?" consider asking, "What was the agreement?" Because nothing truly meaningful in your life happens by chance. Not the heartbreak, not the joy, not even the strangers who pass you in silence and still leave a mark. Every meeting is a thread. Every soul is a mirror. And somewhere, in a place beyond time, you already agreed to meet exactly like this. There are moments in life that whisper and others that shout, a glance that lingers, a phrase you've heard before in a dream, a person who enters your world and shifts everything without even trying. These are not coincidences. According to Dolores Cannon's teachings, they are signs, signals that your soul recognizes long before your mind catches up. Recognizing the signs of destiny begins with awareness. It's not about seeking meaning in every event, but about being present enough to feel when something carries a deeper vibration. A conversation that seems small, but awakens something vast within. A delay that leads you to someone new. A repeated number, name, or symbol that appears just when you're questioning your next step. These signs are like soul breadcrumbs, guiding you back to what you planned before you were born. Many people dismiss these experiences as chance, but Dolores Cannon's work suggests otherwise. Through thousands of regressions, she uncovered stories of individuals who had unknowingly followed paths their higher selves had designed. Encounters that seemed random were actually part of soul agreements. Even missed opportunities often served as redirections. The key to recognizing these signs is your emotional resonance. When something stirs your soul, not just your mind, pay attention. A sign of destiny won't always make sense logically, but it will feel meaningful. It will carry a sense of recognition, of familiarity, like remembering something you forgot you knew. Synchronicities are the universe's language of confirmation. When several unrelated elements align, a thought, a song, a sudden message, it's often a gentle nudge saying, "You're on the right path." Still, the signs do not force you. Destiny respects free will. You are never obligated to follow a sign, only invited to listen. So when life offers you a pause, a spark, or a stranger that feels like home, breathe into it. These moments are sacred. They are the quiet reminders that you are not lost, not alone, and not drifting. You are returning. Recognizing the signs of destiny is not about control, but about trust. Trust in the design, in your soul, and in the path that is always guiding you, even when you can't yet see where it leads. There are moments in life when you meet someone and everything shifts instantly. There's no rational explanation, no timeline that makes sense, and yet the connection feels undeniable. It's as if you've known this person forever, though you've just met. This is the kind of bond that defies logic, because it wasn't built in this lifetime alone. Dolores Cannon, in her exploration of soul memories and pre-birth planning, often spoke about the deep, unseen threads that connect us across lifetimes. These threads are not subject to the rules of time or space. When two souls have journeyed together before, the familiarity is instant. The connection doesn't need to be earned, it's remembered. Logic often struggles to interpret soul-level experiences. The mind tries to place everything into neat categories to explain what feels right or wrong, fast or slow. But soul connections bypass those filters. They speak in the language of energy, intuition, and resonance. That's why two strangers can feel like family within minutes. That's why someone you've known for years might not touch your spirit, while someone you met yesterday awakens something ancient inside you. Sometimes, these connections are intense and unexplainable because they are meant to shake you, to wake you up. They serve as mirrors, reflecting something you needed to see or remember. They don't always come to stay, but they always arrive on time, carrying a lesson, a gift, or a push toward your next evolution. You might ask, if this feels so powerful, why is it so confusing? The answer lies in the difference between logic and truth. Logic asks for proof. Truth needs only to be felt. The heart recognizes what the mind cannot grasp. These connections remind us that life is not just a series of events, but a soul-driven journey. When logic falls short and emotion takes over, trust that your soul knows something your mind has yet to understand. Because not everything sacred can be explained. Some connections are written beyond reason, in the language of destiny. In the vast tapestry of life, every soul you meet is a thread, and you are one in theirs. We're not just drifting through life randomly connecting, we're participating in a sacred choreography where each soul encounter has purpose, meaning, and timing. Dolores Cannon's work often revealed that before we incarnate, we make agreements with other souls. These contracts aren't always romantic or dramatic. Sometimes they are subtle, hidden in everyday interactions. A stranger who smiles at you on a hard day, a teacher who believes in you when you doubt yourself, or even someone who breaks your heart to awaken your strength. We each agree to take on roles for one another. Some are guides, others are challengers, some appear as protectors, others as catalysts. Even the painful characters in your story, the ones you wish had never entered, may have volunteered out of love, agreeing to help you grow by forcing you to break, rebuild, or finally choose yourself. From a human perspective, it's difficult to see this clearly. We feel betrayal, loss, and disappointment, and wonder why life unfolds the way it does. But from the soul's view, nothing is wasted. Every encounter is part of a greater evolution, a design where we are both students and teachers at once. Have you ever wondered why certain people arrive at just the right moment? Or why someone you barely knew left a lasting impact? These moments are not coincidences. They are echoes of the roles we agreed to play long before our feet touched the earth. And just as others have played roles for us, we too are playing roles in their stories, often without even realizing it. A kind word, a moment of listening, a boundary held, a truth spoken, all can be turning points in someone else's life. The beauty of this understanding is that it invites us to approach each relationship with more compassion, to ask, what am I learning here? What might I be offering? Even the hardest relationships can shift in meaning when seen as soul agreements instead of random suffering. So when someone enters your life and stirs something deep, pay attention. It may not be about forever. It may be about right now, about healing something old, remembering who you are, or helping you awaken to the next phase of your journey. Because in the grand theater of existence, we're all playing our parts, perfectly timed, profoundly connected, and guided by something far greater than chance. There are moments in life when destiny does not feel like a divine plan. It feels like abandonment, heartbreak, or a cruel twist of fate. We question everything. Why did that person leave? Why did the relationship never work? Why did the one who saw our soul not stay? These moments, though painful, are not signs that destiny has failed. They are invitations to look deeper, beyond the pain, into the soul's blueprint. According to Dolores Cannon's regressions, many souls choose incredibly difficult paths for reasons that the conscious mind cannot fully understand. Pain, loss, and separation are often part of a higher curriculum, one designed not to punish, but to awaken. The soul doesn't come here for comfort. It comes for experience, for growth, for remembering what it forgot when it chose to incarnate. It is easy to see divine order when love feels magical, when things align, when a soul connection brings warmth and clarity. But what about when the connection burns, then disappears? Or when someone awakens something in you only to walk away? From the soul's perspective, every encounter carries value. That person may have come into your life not to stay, but to stir, to awaken the parts of you that were sleeping, to remind you of your worth, your purpose, or your forgotten strength. They may have played the role they agreed to, and that role was never meant to be long-lasting, but deeply transformative. It is natural to grieve what could have been. It is human to long for closure or justice. But when destiny feels unfair, it's often because we're looking at life through the lens of time, not eternity. What if the person who left saved you from a longer pain? What if the heartbreak was the only way you'd finally come back to yourself? What if your soul needed that exact moment, that disruption, that ache, to realign your entire path? We must remember, destiny is not here to please the ego. It is here to serve the soul. And sometimes, the soul's needs are in direct conflict with what the heart or mind desires in the short term. This isn't about spiritual bypassing or ignoring real pain. It's about widening the lens, about understanding that unfair does not always mean wrong, that suffering can coexist with sacredness, and that just because you don't understand the reason today doesn't mean there isn't one. Destiny often does its most powerful work in the shadows, through the detours, the delays, and the goodbyes that make no sense at the time. One day, maybe not today, but eventually, you'll look back and see it. The hand of something greater. The beauty in the unraveling, the perfect timing in the loss, the realignment that came through the storm. And in that moment, destiny will no longer feel unfair. It will feel divine. There is a quiet force that guides us, subtle, invisible, yet deeply present. It weaves through moments that feel random, through encounters that seem accidental, and through the twists of life we never saw coming. Dolores Cannon's work with past life regression revealed that this force is not randomness, but rather a carefully chosen path, a golden thread placed by the soul before it even entered this life. Many of us spend our lives searching for signs, for reasons, for meaning behind every turn. We want confirmation, proof that our suffering had a purpose, that the person who appeared and then vanished mattered, that our longing, our growth, our pain, all led somewhere. But what if the truth isn't always shown, but felt? What if the deepest trust is born not from answers, but from surrender? Trusting the unseen thread means learning to walk with uncertainty. It means believing that even when life feels like it's unraveling, something deeper is still being woven. It's knowing that just because you can't see the pattern yet, doesn't mean it isn't forming. Dolores Cannon spoke of how souls map out key events, connections, and challenges before birth. These contracts aren't visible to the conscious mind, but they echo through our instincts. When we meet someone who feels familiar, when we are pulled in a direction with no logical reason, that's the thread at work. Sometimes it's a delay that saves us. Sometimes it's a detour that opens our heart. Sometimes it's a loss that finally pushes us back onto the path we were always meant to walk. To trust the unseen thread is to let go of the illusion of full control. It's not passivity, it's cooperation. It's choosing to move forward even when clarity hasn't yet arrived. It's allowing the mystery to hold you. This kind of trust is quiet but radical. It means honoring your inner knowing even when the world doubts it. It means embracing the idea that you are never truly lost, only being guided in a way your mind cannot yet comprehend. You may not always understand why certain people enter your life for a moment and leave, or why you're drawn to a particular place, path, or person. But the soul knows, and the thread is there, always, connecting the lessons, the loves, and the lifetimes. In moments of doubt, remember, the thread is not something you must find. It's something you're already holding. Let go, walk forward, and trust that the path, though unseen, is unfolding exactly as it was meant to. Have you ever felt like something meant to happen was calling you? Share your story in the comments. That moment that felt more than coincidence. If this message stirred something in your heart, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the bell. We explore the hidden threads of your soul's journey every week. Let's walk this path together, one sign at a time.